Runs perfect. I like it. Now I just got to finish up this end here. I got to get it to 7/8 and then we're good to go. All right. Now for the most part, we're about 3/4 of the way done. It fits good. Nice and tight. This side as well, as you see in the lathe, it ran nice and true. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the flats for the cutter because the cutter gets a set screw. So I'm going to put a flat on here, and I'm going to put a flat on here for this set screw. Because I'm figuring once this thing is tightened down and set, I'm probably just going to leave it alone. This will probably be just specifically used for this one purpose. This will be my, annual cutter arbor type thing. So let's go put the flats on this now for the set screw. I'm thinking a 1/4-20 should be a sufficient set screw for this, because basically all it's for is just making sure this thing doesn't spin or come out, and I'm thinking we should be okay. I'm going to put both in, one on each side, just in case. All right, I'm about 90% done. This is the set screw. I still got to tap this out, and I'm also going to do one here. So 90 degrees apart. But it came out pretty good, all in all. I'm impressed. Now I'm hoping everything runs true in the mill. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, I've got some slight run out, and I think it moved in the lathe. When I was doing one of the back corners, it just shuddered a little bit, and I think it was enough to throw it out, just enough to be a pain in the ass. Because this seems like it runs through the OD, but the ID is out by a little bit. I don't know how much a little bit is, but you can see it. So we might be back to the drawing board, because I don't want this to run out at all. Let me start this up and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Don't mind the messy lathe, but this was the first part that you saw that's running out. So I started making the second one now. You see, I did it a little different, a little bit shorter. Doesn't need to be this long. And I kind of figured the extra length would work against me. I still have to face this off. This is the cutoff of this one. But this is really close to diameter. And this is really close to the ID. but I stopped so I could let it cool down. Plus, I want to put the indicator on here. I did this first. This is supposed to be 0.875, and right now it's 0.876. Then I did this hole. Not sure how well you can actually see it, but, and right now this is actually a thousandths or 2 thousandths off as well. So I'm bringing it in slowly again, just like this one. I want to make sure the fit is the same because this one had a really good fit to it. But in any case, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the indicator. Since I did this first, well, technically I did the OD first. I trued this up just to make sure. Then I did this. Then I did this. So I'm going to put the indicator on here and on here to see how it does. And if the indicator is running true, then I'm going to go through and I'm going to finish up the rest of the dimensions because there's not much left to take. So in that case, it should not throw it out in any way, shape, or form. I think what ended up happening before, this little bevel here is this here. And what I think happened, I went in one time and it shattered, and that shatter was enough to throw out this whole part. So I didn't catch it, so I kept going, and now this hole wasn't concentric anymore. So obviously doing this without this being concentric is what caused the whole thing to go to hell. So I'm going to finish this up, and fingers crossed this one actually works. All right, I'm going to do this so you guys can see it. This is the OD right now. It's ranging about 3 thousandths. So I'm going to move it over to here now since this is the important part. Hang on a second. All right. It's a little blurry. I'm trying to get a good picture. Okay, that's a little weird. That's not running out at all. I'm not entirely sure why that's running true and that's not. That doesn't really make any sense to me. I would assume they would both be running out the same since well, I'm getting ahead of myself. First things first, I'm going to check the bore and see how that's running. And then I'll go from there. Now, before you say anything, yes, I know this isn't the proper way to do it, but I really don't feel like breaking out all my gauges. So it is what it is. In any case, it's not running out. So I'm not going to worry about this because this has nothing to do with anything. The collet holds this, and that bore holds the cutter. So heck with it. I'm going to finish this up. This came out good. I'm happy. with pretty much 99% of it. Now, only one problem that I have is this hole here is a little on the tight side. The cutter is really, really close, but it's not going. So I'm going to try freezing the cutter. I'm going to try heating this up and then doing it to see if I can get them to fit together. Because I don't want to mess with anything right now. I know everything indicates and runs 100% true. So the last thing I want to do is start screwing with this and then have it start, running out on me. So I don't know. We're gonna have to see what happens. I got it in the freezer now. I haven't really done this before. I don't know if the freezer is gonna get cold enough and if I'll be able to get this hot enough. I don't know. I put a flat on here for the set screw. I still got to put a flat here, but I'm gonna wait to see if I can get these to fit together first before I go too crazy. I ended up putting this at the end. That way, give you guys a choice if you want to watch it or not. Not that you don't have a choice to watch any of this anyway. You know what I mean. This is me messing around with Mastercam 23. Now, I'm going to kind of get on my soapbox here because I got to say, this has got to be one of the most difficult programs to learn. Now, I've used Autodesk Inventor, I've used Autodesk Feature Cam, I have used FreeCAD, and I've used SpaceClaim. And I've got to say, out of all of the programs, Mastercam, if you give it a number, like 1 to 10, 10 being the absolute hardest to learn, 1 being the easiest, Mastercam is an 11. It is just so difficult to try to find the stuff, to sort through it. On my other computer, I had Mastercam X9, and it was difficult, but even that was a little easier than 23. Feature Cam is a heck of a lot easier, and it's really good. And FreeCAD, to me, is the absolute easiest to learn. Obviously, I'm not endorsed by anybody, so trust me, I'm not getting any kickback here. But my point is, you would really think that these programs, these really expensive programs, would try to make it easy to learn. And you wouldn't have to go through all these how-to videos or just constant education trying to learn this stuff. You would think that it would be intuitive enough to where it would almost know what you wanted type of thing. That's just my take on it, my opinion, and my rant, I suppose. I've never seen anything more difficult to try to do. And I'm sure there's going to be people out there who completely disagree with me, and they probably do it for a living. Obviously, for me, it's a hobby, so this is just me having fun. But still, even generating the G-code on this program, it's a trick as compared to FreeCAD or Feature Cam, where it's just so much easier. Even the fourth axis on the Feature Cam took me hours to learn, but I understood after I did it. This one is just really difficult. I'm going to play around with it. I won't torture you guys with it, but that's just my rant. Anyway, hope everybody's having a great weekend. You're doing well, and I will catch you later.